YouTube? Here once again to present some more information for you. Give you a video on today, Saturday. As usual, I'll put my little disclaimer out. Um, in my videos, I don't claim to be a master, a guru, a adept. None of that. All this information is just from personal experience and from what I'm trying on my path, what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So take it as you will. Take the things that work for you, use them. Discard the things that don't work for you. All right, so let's kick it off right. We got quite a few deities that we're gonna celebrate today. So start off. And we're doing it with water today. The reason why we're doing it with water is because we want to keep the spirit as pure as possible. Okay? So we got our cup to Lilith, to Nama, to Samael, to Andromelech, to the Dark Venus, to Baal, to Nantiel, to Belphegor, to Sorath, to Lucifer, to Asmodeus, to Ashtaroth, to Corazon, to Shugal, to Isla-Papa-Loda, to Babylon, to Lucifuge, to Arachne, to Beelzebub, to Kali, to Belial, to Satan, to Moloch, to Lilith, to Gamaliel, to Samael, Rab Zarak, Ningirion, Goloshab, Gaglshablah, Da'ath, Satariel, Gagliel, and Thamoliel. Alright, to the spirits. Alright. Okay, folks, so the reason why I went through the clip-off spirits and the spears is because I wanted to celebrate them, because I just finished the entire Tree of Death successfully. It was hard. It was trying. It was drastic. It pushed me to the very edge of my spirituality. I experienced a spiritual death in the process that I had to come to grips with. And in that process, I had to dissolve a lot of stuff that I was holding on to from the humanistic view. So with that, everything worked out. It was painful, but I'm here. I made it. Today's video is going to be about magic isn't for you if. So from my experiences of just working through the clip off, I can say that, you know, if you're somebody that's walking this path and you're afraid of change, then you know the magical path isn't for you. You know what I mean? So change will happen, and it has to happen, because in order for you to grow spiritually, physically, and mentally, you have to be willing to shed some stuff and dissolve some things that may have been holding you back from reaching the next level of your life in whatever aspect that may be. Another aspect is if you're afraid of death. Now, this can be taken a little bit lightly from the perspective of not everybody comes with the courage of facing death. I know that for me personally, it was hard. It was hard. Not so much the fact of dying, just the fact of leaving things behind. But working through the Tree of Clip Off, I was able to confront a lot of that. I was able to come face to face with that energy and immerse myself fully 100% in the energy, to the point to where I understood it as the essence that it is. You know what I mean? Like understanding death overall and what encompasses death. You know, and so with that, I became comfortable. I became understanding, and I was able to let go and once again dissolve those fears and to just basically accept death as is. That's one of the major factors of not only working the clip off, but also walking the path of magic or any type of hardcore spiritual path. Um, while working through the clip off, I'll give you guys an example of accepting death. Um, as I was working through certain spheres on a tree, it came to a point to where the spirits presented to me that it was going to be a point to where I was going to have to die spiritually in a way to where like I would have to shed myself of some things. That's what I mean. But in the process, I built up some resistance, and what was shown to me via the spirits was if I was to resist this change, things would have been a lot worse than they were. So in the process of me going through this whole dissolution spiritually, things that were affected more on the physical plane were targeted more towards my family. So whereas physical aspects of change and death and things like that really didn't really affect me, um, because of the fact that I have close ties to my sister in particular, my sister, my nephews, my mother. That energy was pushed towards that direction because of the attachments that I have to my family. So during this process of going through the tree, especially closer to the end, closer to finishing the tree and walking through Thumelael, um, my nephew was shot twice. So this energy had come up way before the incident had taken place. That some drastic issues, some energies may have been risen to basically affect me to see if I was strong enough, going to be strong enough spiritually to complete the task of working through the tree completely. Now I will say my nephew, he survived. He was shot in the leg, but with that being said, it would have been a lot worse if I would have resisted the change. You kind of get what I'm saying. I hope so. So because of the fact that I had given over to the dissolution of my spirituality in a lot of ways, dissolution of a lot of physical aspects in my life, to let go of the fear of death, the effects of my nephew being shot wasn't as bad as it could have been. There were images and things that were presented to me via the spirits that were warnings to say, hey, if you were to resist this, this is what will take place. And it was scary, man. I will say it was scary. It was lots of loss, loneliness, death, basically pushing me over the edge of sanity. And so anybody who's worked through the clip off or the tree of death you understand what I'm talking about. So I basically just had to go with the flow. So that being said, like I said, if you're one who fears death or change in that perspective, then I would suggest working this type of path. Maybe find something a little lighter. Um, coming Another thing is coming up face to face with with being separated or having to cut off friends or family. In the process of working through the tree, it was presented to me that a few of my close friends were deceiving me, and basically because of the knowledge that I have and the skill sets that I have magically and non magically, they were just using me for it, and I couldn't really see that because, I had a close attachment to these people because I thought that they were a family. I didn't just really consider them to be friends. I considered them to be family. And so when I found out what was really going on, it really hurt me, man. It really, really hurt me. And I was just like, I was blown away because of the fact that I didn't expect these people that I've known for years to be the way that they were. So, in that type of situation, the best thing to do is to cut them off, to let them go, to dissolve those relationships because they're not going to help you. You know, they're going to cause more hindrance in your life than actually help you. You know, so there's nothing for you to do but to let them go, to cut ties and stuff like that. And for me, that was painful. That was very, very painful. So that's just, you know, another thing, another warning to these to anybody who wants to walk this type of path, that, you know, it does get real. It does get real. You know, you will have to remove people. People will have to be removed, and it doesn't always mean, whenever people hear that, they usually mean like death or things like that. That's not always the case. Sometimes, like I said, it's just cutting off the relationship, letting them go, stop speaking to them, or remove them from your life. Delete emails, phone numbers, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature, things that keeps you connected to these people, because they're bad apples, you know, and is basically for you, you know, to help you in the end. Another thing is loneliness. One thing that kept coming up is that you are a solo practitioner on your path, and that could be towards whatever path you're walking in life, religious and non-religious. You know, if it's a career path, you're the one that dictates your success. Yeah, you have people to help you and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it all depends on you and how bad you want it. Right? Whether you succeed or not is all up to you. The same thing can be applied to like working this type of magic or spirituality. You know, in particular, the clip off and the tree of death. You know, loneliness will happen, and it will hit hard. So, you know, if you are working this type of stuff and you haven't reached that point, you will. Um, you'll get pushed to the very edge of being separated from everybody and everything. And what I mean by that, I'll break it down for you guys a little bit in more detail. So, even though you're around a society full of people, you know, you may still be working the same job that you're working. You may still be going to school. You may still have the same family, the wife, the kids, and things like that. If you're walking this particular path and you're doing this type of work, you will be isolated because you're doing something that will raise you to a vibration that not other people are attuned to, if that makes sense. So because you are working with, in me particularly, because of the fact that I was working with a lot of um, darker undercurrent spirits, um, my in order for me to work with those spirits, my energy had to vibrate at that level. You know, I had to move at a frequency that was equivalent to the spirits that I was working with. So that automatically puts me into a category of my own. You know, even practitioners that have worked this type of magic and have walked this type of path are still working on a different frequency than me because the spirits are working with them differently. So each and every single practitioner will have to go through their own form of loneliness. So, you know, if you're the type of person that's afraid to be by yourself, afraid to be isolated, afraid to be alone, um, this type of magic isn't for you. You know what I mean? Because it does take effect, and it does take its toll. Um, Also, another thing is, you know, your sanity will be tested. Oh man, oh man, it will be tested, and it will be tested hard. So because these forces are so harsh and they're so hard on you physically, mentally, and spiritually, they will make you question and doubt who you are, what you are, and what you're all about. Forcing you to even question your own existence. But it's all a test. because what I've noticed is these spirits aren't really there to stop you or hinder you from succeeding. They're there to test you, for you to test yourself. And what I mean by that is that they're presenting these energies to you in a way to see if you'll be willing to push through or if you're gonna break, basically. And when it comes to the tree of death, the clip off, only the strong survive. I'll put that out there. Only the strong survive. Not many people, not many magicians that actually work this type of magic or spirituality make it all the way through. It's hard for them. It's hard, and I understand why. And I respect those people that try it, and they reach maybe even the sphere of Da'ath. If you go that far, I pat you on the back and I salute you, because it's hard. It really is hard, because you have to push through. You have to dig deep. You have to dig deep. You have nobody else to depend upon except for you. So that's when your spiritual strength counts the most. That's when your mental strength counts the most. That's when your physical strength counts the most. So to be able to push through and to really have that determination, that inner fire, that willpower, that so many people talk about, so many people read books about, the will, the focus, and the intent. It doesn't make sense until you actually have to apply it. And when you're going through a harsh current like this, you have to do it. You have to utilize every single ounce of strength, willpower, focus, intent to finish. I mean, I reached a point to where my conscious mind really, really was trying to force me to give up by just wanting to end the pain, because as we know, the conscious mind wants to survive. It's animalistic, it's humanistic. So for you to bring this type of spiritual pain, it into the equation, it doesn't understand it. It can't grasp it. It can't uh, um, congeal it into some type of conscious logic that makes sense to it. So it's all over the place, and so therefore it will be on the edge of fight or flight, basically. But you have to kind of draw that inner strength and say, well, I'm just going to do it anyway, because this is what I need. And at the end of the road, I know that I'll be better off for it. So I mean, I'm sure there's more that I could talk about, but those are just a few things that come up, you know. But some of the good things, I'll put another video out about um, the positive things of working through this. But I just kind of wanted to put a warning out for people that are actually considering, or people that are tiptoeing around the clip off or darker left hand path type spiritual workings. That if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't stop. Don't stop. Once you step foot through the first sphere, go through with it. Do it to completion, because if you stop mid sphere, or you know what I mean, like you make it up to the Da'ath and you just stop, that's it, man. That's it. Like it's gonna hit you hard. So it's best to just endure the pain while you're going through it, and finish it off strong. I mean, even with me, like I felt like I was clawing and dragging my way to finish the tree and to make it through the Mulayel. For me, just a quick story. For me, when I worked from Gagiel to Thumalael, I had to wait 7 days. The spirits told me to wait 7 days to complete the actual journey. So whereas I was working through it, reading the book, doing the incantations, doing the working, doing the meditations and stuff, the spirits told me to stop. Like as I got to Gagiel, it was like they were like, stop, just stop what you're doing, wait 7 days. And it was the most excruciating pain. That's when my nephew got shot. My sister was having all types of issues. I mean, people were like People didn't want to be around me. Friends were just like dropping out. Like it was hard, man. Like I felt really isolated, and I just basically had to push through. I had to push through. But once I made it to the seventh day, it was like a cloud had been dissolved. The sun had came out, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I felt so much better because of the fact that I made it through. I proved to myself and I proved to the spirits that I had the strength to do it, that I was willing to push through no matter what, because I had reached a point to where I had become so anxious and so paranoid that I was like, at any point in time, I'm gonna die. Like, it's as crazy as it sounds. People who've worked through the tree understand what I'm talking about. Like, it's just like you reach this state of paranoia, like I'm gonna die, But then your inner strength has to be there. You have to spiritually be strong and say, you know what, even if that was to happen, I'll be fine. And just that alone is enough to push you through. Just that mustard seed of faith, as the Bible talks about, and just having that is enough to push you through. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to kind of push this video out to kind of uh, to introduce anybody who's thinking about it, uh, debating it, tiptoeing, pussyfooting around. Don't. If you're doubting it, and if you have some type of resistance, don't start it. Don't start it, because once you do, that's it. Like, that's it. You're started that path. Those energies have been released now, so it's best to just complete it. Now, with me and how I worked through it, through the whole entire tree of death, I did it through um, this book, Temple of Ascending Flame, Tree of Qlippotth. Uh, as I had shown this to you guys before, um, the thing about this book is that it's a crash course. So basically, whereas most programs might give you 11 weeks or so to kind of work through each sphere, maybe like 1 week per sphere. Here it's like you're just kind of moving through it as soon as you feel that you have that intuition. You're kind of using your own intuition. So this is kind of like you're working at it your own pace. Me, I was able to kind of push through this in almost 2.5 months. I was able to work through the entire tree. But you know, now that I'm done and it's completed, I feel so much better. Um, my life is together. Things are falling into place. Like, it's life is beautiful now, and I see things differently, and I understand things differently. Uh, um, it's a whole different spiritual awakening, spiritual rebirth. But you have to die spiritually first, and that spiritual death is painful. So if you're not ready for that in your life, I wouldn't suggest trying it. But yeah, so that's just my thing, to the spirits, we give thanks. And so yeah, if you have any questions or anything, post them below. Comments, post them below, and I'll do my best to kind of answer them, get back to you guys, and things of that nature. As I said, I will be buying a bulk of my Hand of Glory books, and I'll show you guys. So I'll be buying a bulk of these books here. This is my personal book that I've published through DB Publishing with Steph. And so basically, I'll be buying a bulk load of these. I'll be consecrating them. I'll be signing them, and I'll be shipping them out. But I'll be shipping them out to people that, like I said, post certain comments, and kind of like a giveaway type thing, and just to kind of give thanks to you guys for supporting me, for supporting the channel, for being there, and just kind of being around and watching my personal growth. Hopefully, the information that I'm presenting to you guys is helping in some way. Like I said, information that doesn't work, don't use it. Information that does, use it. Once again, I'm no expert, no guru, no master. Don't claim to be. Never will claim it. I don't even claim to be a teacher. But so this is just my own personal experience on my path that I'm sharing with you guys freely. Also, one more note before I let you guys go. I got another book that's coming out, Divine Meditations. It'll be out this summer, possibly within the next couple of months or so. As soon as it comes out, as soon as it drops, I'll let you guys know. I'll post a video and say, hey, book release or whatever. It's going to be another chapbook. It's going to be pretty short. It's sigil heavy, but the book deals with different meditation techniques that you guys can use. The biggest meditational technique is the chakra dissolution, to where you can dissolve your chakras and kind of let them go, because they are a linking system to keep you here tied into humanity and things like that. But the book will go into detail. You get your hands on the book and you have any questions, then by all means ask me, and I'll be happy to kind of reveal that information to you guys. But yeah, so this is it. If you have, like I said, if you have any questions, just hit me up. All right, guys, take care. Peace.